The Young and the Restless, remarriage ceremony for Danny Romalotti and Christine. Cricket Blair doesn't kick off until Friday, November 21st. But we've already got a sneak peek at the nuptials. A whole bunch of sneak peeks. In fact, portrayers Lauralee Bell and Michael Damian previously told Soaps.com that the idos are beautiful, heartfelt, filled with a lot of emotion. How could they not be when it's been more than 30 years since the couple was split up by the pop star's obsessed fan, Phyllis Summers? But since the super vixen is currently tied up with Kane Ashby, she may not be the trouble that rears its head at the nuptial. There are multiple dramas, Bell teased, and a few of them aren't what you would expect. Among the vets on hand for the event are Beth Maitland, Tracy, Trisha Cast, Nina, and Patty Weaver, who's played Danny's sister Gina since the big hair days of the early 1980s. The extravaganza serves as a date night for couples like Michael and Lauren, and Abby and Devin. Finally, they're all dressed up with someplace to go. Michael also serves as the once and future Romalotis officiant. This despite the fact that he once sexually harassed the bride and dug a hole into her apartment in hopes of raping her. Only in Genoa City, folks. Belle acknowledged that it isn't like her character to roll the dice and hope for the best, especially with something as important as a marriage. But since she's doing so, it's very freeing, she noted. Some love stories flicker, some blaze, and then there are the rare few in the soap universe that never stop burning, even after decades of breakups, rivalries, betrayals, reinventions, and detours with the wrong partners. Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti are exactly that kind of couple. The kind that feels written into the DNA of the Young and the Restless. And now, as CBS drops gorgeous sneak peek photos from their highly anticipated remarriage, fans are buzzing like it's 1990 all over again. The images promise elegance, nostalgia, longing, and maybe, just maybe, the happy ending viewers have begged for. This article looks at everything the new photos reveal, what the remarriage means for Genoa City in 2025, and how Christine and Danny's romance compares to the all-time greatest soap weddings across daytime history. Grab a drink, we're diving deep into 40 years of love, heartbreak, and soap opera magic. The sneak peek photos that broke the internet one. A wedding style that blends old-school romance with modern flair. The first image released is the one fans are already framing. Christine stands in a softly lit room, looking into a mirror while fastening her earrings. The gown is stunning, not flashy, not overly trendy, but an elegant lace piece that feels true to Cricket. The dress has off-the-shoulder sleeves, a fitted bodice with delicate beading, a flowing skirt that moves like silk, a subtle train reminiscent of her iconic first wedding to Danny. The lighting, soft golds and whites, with a nostalgic cinematic haze that practically shimmers through the screen. Danny, in the corresponding photo, adjusts his cufflinks with a quiet smile. He's wearing a classic black tux, crisp, timeless, unchanged by passing trends. It feels symbolic. Danny hasn't always made the right choices, but his heart has always been stubbornly loyal to Christine. The vibe is unmistakable. This isn't a young couple rushing into love. This is a mature pair choosing each other again, after everything, too. The venue, candlelit, intimate, and rich with Genoa City history. Another photo reveals the venue. Think ivory floral arrangements, romantic candles, soft amber string lights, a minimalist arch with climbing white roses. It's not a grand chancellor-style extravaganza. It's deeply personal, a venue chosen to honor their history, not to impress. If the original wedding was big, bold, and public, this one feels earned, like a love letter to their story. 3. The most emotional sneak peek. Christine's walk toward Danny. One of the most talked about images shows Christine standing at the start of the aisle, barely keeping her emotions in check. Danny's eyes glisten with tears, he's not even trying to hide. You can almost hear the iconic Y&R orchestral swell behind them. For longtime fans, it's not just a wedding, it's closure, redemption, and restoration. 4. The group photos hint at big storylines ahead. 2 group shots tease drama brewing in the background. Phyllis is standing off to the side, wearing a look that could melt diamonds. Lauren is beaming like she's waited her whole life for this moment. Paul appears in a surprising cameo, offering a cryptic expression. Tracy seems genuinely touched and maybe a little relieved. Michael is in full celebratory mode, champagne in hand. These aren't accidents. Y&R rarely reveals photos without layering in foreshadowing. Something, or someone, is going to stir the waters. Why Christine and Danny's remarriage matters so much to fans. 1. The romance that survived decades of turmoil. Christine and Danny's love story began in the late 80s and cemented itself as a cornerstone of Genoa City's youth culture. Their chemistry was instant, magnetic, the sweet, wholesome girl with the soulful rocker, but their journey wasn't simple. Fans lived through Phyllis faking a pregnancy, endless career, conflicts, years of resentments, separate loves, Christine choosing the FBI and justice over domestic life, Danny finding himself pulled away by work and scandal, missed chances that felt like heartbreak every time, and yet, whenever they shared scenes, something familiar sparked recognition, gratitude, love. That spark is now aflame again. 2. Christine's evolution. From cricket to Christine's journey is one of the most complete arcs in daytime television. A young model, a legal intern, a fierce attorney, a wronged woman seeking justice, a powerful defender of the vulnerable woman, finally choosing happiness on her own terms. This remarriage isn't about romance sweeping her off her feet. It's about Christine choosing stability, love, and partnership after decades of choosing responsibility first. Point 3. Danny's redemption arc feels complete. Danny's history has been messy. He made impulsive choices. He hurt Christine. He let his life spiral under the weight of fame, jealousy, and deception. But the Danny seen in these new photos, he looks like a man who finally understands what matters. This remarriage is his clean slate, earned, not given. Part 3. The lead up to the remarriage, tension, drama, and a few surprises. 1. Phyllis's reaction could make or break this wedding. Phyllis Summers was always the wild card in this love story. Her rivalry with Christine spans decades, and her history with Danny is even more complicated. The sneak peek photo shows Phyllis wearing a dangerously still expression. Stillness, for Phyllis, is more terrifying than an explosion of rage. Will she sabotage? Will she confess something? Will she behave? For once, because if history tells us anything, where Christine goes, Phyllis drama follows. 2. Paul's unexpected presence raises questions. 1. Of the most shocking elements in the photo set is Paul Williams' appearance. His relationship with Christine was foundational. Their breakup was painful. Their marriage, full of both love and compromise, left lasting emotional scars. So why is he here? The expression on his face isn't quite sadness or joy. It's wistfulness, regret, and possibly acceptance. Could this cameo mean a bigger storyline for Paul? Or is it simply a nod to decades of why and our history? Either way, viewers are thrilled. 3. Lauren and Michael bring humor and heart. The wedding photos show Lauren nudging Michael during the ceremony, her grin as wide as the Chancellor estate. These two bring a necessary balance to the wedding, reminding viewers that even in a soap opera, genuine friendships add warmth and grounding. Part 4. The ceremony, what the photos suggest. 1. The vows will be heart-melting. The text of the vows hasn't been revealed. The photos hint at deeply emotional writing. Christine is tearing up mid-vow. Danny is holding both her hands like he's afraid to let go. Tracy is crying openly in the front row. Lauren is clutching a tissue. Expect vows that reflect gratitude, growth, second chances, accountability, promise to let the past stop hurting the future. This isn't a fairy tale promise, it's a mature, grounded declaration. 2. The kiss looks cinematic. One photo captures the moment just before their kiss, noses nearly touching, eyes closed. It looks like the scene was shot with a slow zoom, gentle lighting, and an emotional swell of the Y and R score. Soap weddings are always cinematic, but this one appears intimate and nostalgic, a callback to their first ceremony, but richer, deeper. Part V. The reception, romance, drama, and foreshadowing. 1. The first dance, sweet, slow, and overflowing with memory. The reception photos show dim lighting, a soft spotlight, and Christine resting her head on Danny's shoulder as they sway. His hand rests at the small of her back, her fingers brushing the back of his neck, a quiet, affectionate gesture that says home. 2. Guests whispering in the background suggests upcoming photos reveal several revealing micro-moments. Phyllis talking to someone off camera, aggressively. Paul slipping outside, alone, looking conflicted. Michael whispering something that makes Lauren gasp. Tracy embracing Christine with an expression of relief, mixed with worry. These reactions hint that one or more major arcs may begin as a result of this wedding. 3. The cake cutting has a playful tone. Christine accidentally smears cake frosting on Danny's cheek. He lightly taps her nose with icing. It's sweet and a rare moment of levity in a show often filled with tension. A look back, the greatest soap opera weddings of all time. Soap weddings are legendary. They're grand, dramatic, tear-filled, and often interrupted by long-buried secrets or long-lost lovers crashing the ceremony. Christine and Danny's remarriage is already being compared to some of the most iconic ceremonies ever aired. Let's revisit the best. 1. Luke and Laura. General Hospital. No soap wedding has ever been bigger or more culturally iconic. 30 million viewers. Elizabeth Taylor cameo. A storybook setting a romance that defined an era was the wedding that puts soaps into mainstream pop culture. 2. Beau and Hope. Days of Our Lives. Their wedding brought the motorcycle entrance, the crown bear, gondola fairy tale dress with 1980s flair, and rebellion fused perfectly. Pure soap perfection. 3. Ridge and Brooke. The bold and the beautiful. This couple has had weddings on beaches, in forests, on cliffs, and in Forester mansions. The most iconic remains the first one, Brooke in her unforgettable white gown with a trailing hood. 4. Victor and Nikki. The young and the restless know why, and our list is complete without them. Their first big wedding, in the lush ranch setting, is considered one of the most romantic ceremonies in soap history, and their later just as dramatic and emotional. 5. Erica Kane's many weddings. All my children. Erica's weddings were events like fashion shows with vows. Each one was iconic for its own reason, but the wedding to Dimitri remains a fan favorite. 6. Sharon and Nick. Why and are their wedding candlelit, heartfelt, and deeply romantic, gave fans a fairy tale before the heartbreak that followed. The ceremony symbolized innocence, hope, and the beauty of first love. 7. Jack and Phyllis. Y and R. Red in that unforgettable red dress. Unmatched. This ceremony was fiery, dramatic, and quintessentially Phyllis. How the Christine and Danny remarriage. COMPARS. Christine and Danny may not have the decades-long fanfare of Victor, Nikki, or Luke, Laura, but they have something arguably rarer, a love story built on growth, healing, and maturity. Their wedding reflects elegance without extravagance, emotion without melodrama, depth without chaos, nostalgia without repetition. It feels like a tribute not just to their characters, but to the fans who've walked beside them since the beginning. What this remarriage means for future storylines. 1. Will Phyllis let them be happy? Probably not. Her look in the sneak peek photos suggests that she's far from done causing trouble. Expect manipulation, jealous digs, possibly a secret revealed, maybe even a post-wedding confrontation. Never watches love stories unfold peacefully, especially Christine's. 2. Christine may face a work-life conflict with her career central to her identity. Fans speculate that Christine might be pulled into a high-stakes case. Danny may struggle to adapt. Work-life tension could become their first married again. Obstacle. 3. Paul's return could change everything. If Paul stays in town, old feelings could resurface. Christine might face emotional conflict. Danny's insecurities may return. A triangle could reignite, and fans love a well-written triangle. Fan reactions. Pure emotion on across social media. Fan comments include, "I've waited 30 years for this and I'm crying. This is the wedding we deserved. Christine finally gets her happiness. If Phyllis ruins this, I riot." The photos look cinematic and soft, like real love. The overall vibe, nostalgia mixed with relief and celebration. Final thoughts. A wedding for the ages, and Danny's remarriage is more than a plot point. It's a tribute to history too. Forgiveness, to the power of second chances, to the legacy of Y&RTO longtime fans who never stopped believing these two belonged together. The sneak peek photos feel like a promise of a grounded, romantic, beautifully written chapter ahead, and as the wedding joins the ranks of soap opera's greatest ceremonies, one thing becomes clear: some love stories never fade, they just wait for the right moment to shine again.